Hi everyone, I'm back with another one of a kind, and for the second time I didn't make what I intended. My plan was to make a dragon, as you can see I guess. I made a big one once from paper mache a long time ago. I always wanted to make more in various sizes and materials and maybe some, figurines as well, but never got around to it. Over the years I collected a lot of stuff to start with the sculpting. But it was always I just stayed with it. Until I saw a video by accident about doll customizing from Capmillion Studio. And something she said made me just begin. So thanks Marjana. Otherwise I still wasn't doing this and I love it. Even if I have to learn a lot yet. I chose for this dragon project Unifier Long, I believe she's called. She already has the skills, so I thought it would be a logical choice. I prepared her head alongside with my tree fairy. I apparently thought I could do two at a time. At least I wanted to do so bad. But after the cutting the hair and the shrinking, she just laid there. I could not think of how she would have to look in the end. I know I have that problem anyway, but I always have an idea of some sort. Anyway, I did not start with her till now. I had to find some inspiration somehow. And I found it in a large box of shells. I got the most ones and the most beautiful big ones from a dear friend of mine, and I knew I would do something with it, so why not now? I leave the dragon project for now and I still have two other Genofiers left. So now she will become some sort of sea creature. And her skills made me want to do a snake. So there was my idea. As always, I started with the base so I can position her later. I did a round of thrift store shopping. My God, what a word. And I found a lot of nice things. Among them was this wooden frame. I bought to use as a frame for a doll, but I think this will be perfect for this sea creature. If I arrange all the shells somehow and make a story around it. It took me a long time to make decisions. This was gonna be her hiding place of all the sparkles and treasures she found and collected. And that's why I made another guardian. She's the guardian of her sea treasures. Maybe I will do a series, let me know in the comments. I painted the frame with gesso and white acrylics and metallic acrylics. I chose which shells I should use, and this one needed some more pearly shine, so I used some metallic pearly watercolors on it. I could not choose between all these nice sea colors, so I used all of them, and I did 2 layers. I made a rock for some protection for my snake lady, and I used the same technique as with my sea dragon. I had some insulation tubes cut up in little pieces, covered them with tin foil and then covered it with air drying clay. And I painted it with acrylics in mostly whites and a bit of grays. From my thrift store hunt, I also found air drying clay for 50 cents. Can you believe it? And I made some sea plants and corals and painted them with gesso and metallic acrylics. She soaked in acetone mixture for 2 days and I let her dry for 2, and I was pleased with the result. I removed both her legs, put a large piece of wire in their place and covered the wire with tin foil. I fiddled with a lot of rhinestones again. I got some potpourri from the action and I covered them with resin to make them strong and glossy. From wood pellets I use as cat litter and watery glue, I made this kind of sand I used for my sea dragon. There are still a lot of large chunks left, so I have to use some more water mixture, I guess. I find it easier to put the clay on in stages. The first part is now dry, and then it's easier to do the rest. It's my homemade porcelain clay again, and it air dries. But as with my moon fairy, it cracked with the tinfoil as a base. I forgot that part. But I think it will be fine when it's glued and painted. And it did. Back to the base while the tail was drying. I put all the accessories in place, mostly with hot glue and resin. Sanding time. A lot of sanding. My least favorite part. I decided I didn't want her to have hair, so she needed something else. And I got some inspiration from snake photos, although I didn't want to make all the scales, but maybe something in the line of a snake's head. Maybe, well, I didn't know at the time yet, but she will end up like a cobra. And I love the horns on the snake, so she had to have two horns. And a lot of sanding again. Trying not to lose all the imprinted scales, but I guess that's inevitable. I painted her whole body with acrylics. I believe I did 3 layers. I forgot the horns again, but I will do that later. between the layers of acrylics I sanded or buffed the layers a bit, so the paint will be a little bit smooth. Then she got a few layers of MSC and I blushed her body or her face and her upper body, but I guess I don't have footage of it. And then I used my new watercolor pencils. I'm so glad. I have such a dear sister. She just gave them to me. And they are perfect. And it was just such an easy job, this. I could reach her eyes so easily. Not. So I did a lot of camera because I just could not get good footage. Because the tail was in the way. So I used Derwent Inktense pencils and watercolors from Stabilo. And in between the layers, a lot of layers of MSC. So you see these weird looking yellow lines? It's made with a 3D pen. My son had one, he didn't use anymore, and I could have it. So I experimented a little bit. I didn't plan this at all, but I think it came out okay. So I will leave it and make it work. It's easy to remove when you make a mistake. The lines are just a little wobbly because I don't have the control over the pen yet, but in this case I didn't mind really. So I think I will leave it and maybe hide a little bit with paint or something, or maybe with some rhinestones. I don't know. I will see later. I made her horns from polymer clay, but I could not remove them from the metal wire without destroying them. So I had to think of something else or trying to make this work. And I remembered one doll customizer, I don't know which one anymore, doing some pre-baking with a heat gun. So I tried it and it worked. It's firm now. Yay! I painted her tail in dark blue acrylic and I did 2 or 3 layers, I can't remember. I painted the transition between her upper body and her tail a bit greenish metallics, and I did the lower part of the tail where the blue is in blue metallic, and I tried to transition it gradually. The yellow part of her body I covered with a golden acrylic, but I think I also used watercolors because for some reason they stick better, I don't know. I gave her a purple manicure and I sealed it with a tiny bit of resin to make it a bit glossy. My snake lady loves all the sparkles she finds and collecting, and she covers herself with a lot of them. So it's rhinestone time again. I chose a lot of rhinestones in blues and greens and a little bit of purple, and I placed them all along the tail and her head. It took me a few days, I tell you. I secured all the rhinestones with a tiny layer of resin. And as always, it seems, my card was full without me knowing. I have to do something about that. But I glued everything into place. My snake lady I fixed with hot glue, and all the little plants and shells I did with super glue and resin. making sure everything is nice and secure, and I think she's done. What do you think of her? I would be very happy if you leave your thoughts about her in the comments below. And if you like the video, you can like and subscribe as well. See you at my next project, I hope.